The Dulce Base mystery. Picture this. You're driving through the desert of New Mexico on a quiet evening in the mid-1970s. The sun's setting, casting long shadows across the barren landscape. Suddenly, you spot something that makes your blood run cold. There, lying twisted and mutilated on the ground, is a cow. But that's not the worst part. Inside this poor creature's body, you discover something that shouldn't exist. A dead fetus that looks like a horrifying mix of human, monkey, and frog. Now, before you think this is just another tale from someone's wild imagination, let me tell you something. This actually happened to a state trooper named Gabriel Valdez, and what he found that day would eventually lead to one of the most disturbing conspiracy theories in modern history. A theory about an underground facility where humans aren't the scientists. They're the lab rats. Welcome to the twisted world of the Dulce Base, where everything you thought you knew about Area 51 gets turned completely upside down. If Area 51 is where we study alien bodies, then Dulce Base is where aliens study ours. And trust me, you're absolutely not prepared for what you're about to hear. So, let's go back to that fateful day when Trooper Valdez made his gruesome discovery. There he was just doing his regular patrol through the New Mexico desert when he noticed something strange overhead. A sophisticated craft, unlike anything he'd ever seen, gliding silently through the darkening sky. But it was what lay on the ground that would haunt him forever. The mutilated cattle wasn't unusual by itself. The region had been plagued by these bizarre animal deaths for months. But when Valdez examined the carcass more closely, he found that grotesque hybrid fetus. Now, I know what you're thinking. Either this bloke was completely off his rocker, high as a kite, or he genuinely witnessed something that science says is impossible. But here's where it gets really interesting. Scattered around the dead animal, Valdez found items that no wild predator would ever leave behind. Glow sticks, gas, masks, radar chaff. These weren't the calling cards of wolves or coyotes. They were evidence of something far more organized and sinister. For a while, Valdez's story just floated around as another weird tale from the American Southwest. People talked about it in hushed tones at diners and truck stops. But then it faded away like so many other strange stories. But then, several years later, everything changed. Whistleblowers began emerging from the shadows, each one confirming the last, slowly unraveling a conspiracy so massive and horrifying that it still sends shivers down people's spines. Today, let me take you back to February 1954. President Dwight Eisenhower was supposed to be enjoying a relaxing golf holiday at Palm Springs. But suddenly, in the middle of the night, he had to rush off for an emergency dental appointment. At midnight, with a dentist who worked at Edwards Air Force Base. Now, I don't know about you, but Ivan never had a toothache so severe that I needed to visit a military base in the dead of night. And apparently, neither did anyone else who heard this ridiculous cover story. According to Timothy Good, a former U.S. Congress and Pentagon consultant, something far more extraordinary was actually taking place. Eisenhower hadn't gone to see a dentist at all. He'd been secretly transported to a remote New Mexico air base for a clandestine meeting with beings from another world. Picture this scene. The President of the United States, surrounded by his most trusted advisors, sitting across from representatives of not one, but two alien races. The Nordic aliens, tall and eerily human-like, and the Greys, those small, large-headed beings that have become synonymous with UFO encounters. But this wasn't just a meet and greet. According to eyewitness accounts that leaked years later, Eisenhower actually signed a treaty with the Grey aliens, a pact that would change the course of human history forever. The terms were chillingly simple. The aliens would share their advanced technology with the United States government. In return, they would be allowed to conduct experiments on both humans and animals without interference. The government would look the other way while these beings carried out their research on American citizens. Now, you might wonder why Eisenhower would agree to such a horrific deal. Why would any leader essentially sell out their own people? Well, the aliens had two very compelling arguments. First, they claimed that Earth was rich in natural resources they desperately needed. The electromagnetic properties of certain rocks, the energy from lightning and hurricanes, our groundwater, extensive cave systems, and our atmosphere filled with ions. They needed all of it, but the second argument was the real clincher. These beings claimed they weren't really aliens at all. They insisted they were descendants of an ancient reptilian race that had lived on Earth for thousands of years before humans ever appeared. In their minds, they weren't invading our planet. They were reclaiming their ancestral home. Put yourself in Eisenhower's shoes for a moment. You're facing beings with technology so advanced it might as well be magic. They're telling you they have a legitimate claim to your planet that predates your entire species, and they're offering you a deal instead of simply taking what they want by force. Remember, this was the height of the Cold War. The Soviet Union was breathing down America's neck, and any technological advantage could mean the difference between victory and defeat. So Eisenhower signed what became known as the Grenada Treaty, officially sanctioning the creation of the first joint human-alien underground facility. And that's how the Dulce Base was born. Now, let me take you on a guided tour of this nightmare facility, based on testimonies from those brave enough to speak out. Imagine descending into a massive 7th-floor underground complex, each level more secure and more horrifying than the last. When you first enter, you're greeted by security personnel wearing pilot-style coveralls. They're armed with what witnesses describe as flash guns, weapons supposedly effective against both humans and aliens. Before you can proceed, your identity must be verified using retinal scanners. If you somehow have clearance, you'll be escorted to the 2nd floor. Here's where things get uncomfortable. You'll be weighed completely naked and then given a white uniform marking you as a visitor. From this point onwards, every sensitive area is equipped with weight sensors and more retinal scanners. One wrong move, one slight deviation from your expected weight or biometric signature, and alarms will blare throughout the facility. As you move through the complex, you'll notice strange symbols carved into the walls. These are the written languages of the Grey and Nordic aliens, indecipherable to human eyes. The technology surrounding you is beyond anything you've ever seen. The elevators don't use cables like ours do. Instead, they operate on some kind of magnetic levitation system designed by the aliens themselves. Over 3,000 security cameras monitor every corner of the facility, with the heaviest concentration around entrances, exits, and the laboratories. And it's in those laboratories where the real horrors unfold. The 4th floor is where mind control experiments take place. Dream manipulation, hypnosis, telepathy research. Disturbing enough, but nothing compared to what lies below. The 5th floor houses the alien autopsy rooms, where both human and extraterrestrial bodies are dissected and studied. But it's the 6th level that earned the nickname Nightmare Hall. This is where the truly unspeakable experiments occur. Row after row of tanks filled with human beings and humanoid creatures at various stages of development. Most appear drugged and confused. Others cry out for help, begging anyone who will listen to rescue them from their nightmare. The official story is that these are psychiatric patients receiving experimental treatments for severe mental illness. But of course, that's a lie. These are abducted humans, being subjected to genetic experiments. Their DNA mixed with animal and alien genetic material to create the kinds of grotesque hybrids that Trooper Valdez discovered all those years ago. For years, everyone working at the facility kept their mouths shut. They'd all signed agreements never to speak about what they witnessed in those underground chambers. But in 1979, something happened that changed everything. A conflict erupted between the human workers and their alien collaborators. What started as a disagreement quickly escalated into a full-scale war. Gunfire echoed through the corridors as humans tried to fight back against their extraterrestrial overseers. When the smoke cleared, 82 people lay dead, including scientists and security personnel. This became known as the Dulce War, the day when the fragile alliance between humans and aliens finally shattered. Now, I know what you're thinking. This all sounds like the plot of a terrible science fiction film. Alien-human genetic experiments, underground wars, government cover-ups. It's almost too bizarre to believe. But here's the thing that makes this story so compelling. We have witnesses, multiple independent witnesses whose testimonies corroborate each other in frightening detail. Let me tell you about Paul Benowitz, the man who first brought the Dulce Base to public attention. Benowitz was a successful businessman, an electronics expert from Albuquerque. He wasn't some conspiracy theorist living in his mother's basement. He was a respected member of the Aerial Phenomena Research Organization, a legitimate UFO investigation group. After hearing about Trooper Valdez's cattle mutilation discovery, Benowitz began his own investigation into the strange occurrences around New Mexico. Being an electronics specialist, he had access to sophisticated surveillance equipment. He started filming the unusual aircraft he observed in the area, gathering hours of compelling footage, but then his equipment started picking up something even more extraordinary. Radio and video transmissions that seemed to be communications between spacecraft and some kind of underground base. The conversations didn't sound human. They sounded like something else entirely. Benowitz traced these transmissions back to their source, near the town of Dulce in the Archuleta Mesa area. He had no idea at the time that he was eavesdropping on communications from a secret underground facility. As his investigation deepened, Benowitz's receivers began picking up additional frequencies. These weren't radio communications, but signals from what appeared to be tracking devices, implants, the kind you might put in a pet to monitor their location. Following these signals led Benowitz to a woman named Mrna Hansen. In 1980, Hansen and her son claimed they had been abducted by strange beings. Like so many alleged abduction victims, she remembered being taken but had no clear memory of what happened during her captivity. Benowitz convinced Hansen to undergo hypnotic regression therapy with Dr. Leo Sprinkle from the University of Wyoming. What emerged during those sessions was absolutely chilling. Under hypnosis, Hansen described being taken inside an underground facility. She spoke of seeing cold storage units containing entire human beings and large vats filled with human and animal body parts. Her testimony matched exactly what would later be revealed by other witnesses about the Dulce Bus. Benowitz began connecting all the pieces: the cattle mutilations, the alien abductions, the UFO activity, the strange transmissions. They were all connected to a single location, an extraterrestrial base operating beneath the New Mexico desert. Being a patriotic citizen, Benowitz did what he thought was right. In October 1980, he reported his findings to Kirtland Air Force Base. His report detailed the location of the alien facility, described the deal between the government and the extraterrestrials, and even mentioned the conflict that had occurred between humans and aliens at the base. Everything in Benowitz's report aligned perfectly with what we now know about the Dulce Base. But instead of being hailed as a hero for his discoveries, Benowitz found himself targeted by a vicious disinformation campaign. The Air Force Office of Special Investigations began systematically destroying Benowitz's credibility. They fed him false information, manipulated his equipment to show fake readings, and gradually drove him to the brink of mental collapse. In 1985, Benowitz suffered a complete breakdown and was committed to a psychiatric institution. The campaign against him worked perfectly. By the time the truth about the AFO's Eyes involvement came out in 1989, Benowitz was a broken man whose reputation had been thoroughly destroyed. The Dulce Base story seemed to die with his credibility. But then, in 1987, something extraordinary happened. A new whistleblower emerged. Someone the government couldn't easily discredit because he claimed to have worked inside the Dulce Base himself. Thomas Costello released what became known as the Dulce Papers, a collection of 30 photographs, a video, and documents that provided physical evidence of the joint governmentalian facility. Unlike Benowitz, who had observed the base from the outside, Costello claimed to have seen its horrors firsthand. According to Costello, he had worked as a security specialist at the facility, maintaining the extensive surveillance systems that monitored every corner of the complex. His job required him to interact with the different alien species working at the base, and what he witnessed there horrified him. Costello described 4 distinct extraterrestrial races operating at Dulce. The standard gray aliens from Zeta Reticuli, standing about 4 feet tall. Taller grays from Rydal Orion, reaching 7 feet in height. And 2 reptilian species, one native to Earth, serving as workers, and another from the Draco star system in Orion, who acted as supervisors. As someone with high-level security clearance, Costello had access to the deepest levels of the facility, including the notorious Level 6, Nightmare Hall. He described seeing thousands of humans in cold storage, most appearing drugged or catatonic. Some cried for help, begging anyone who would listen to rescue them. Initially, Costello believed the official story that these were psychiatric patients receiving experimental treatment. He followed orders not to interact with them, thinking he was helping protect years of medical research. But then one of the prisoners reached out to him. The man introduced himself as George S. and told Costello he had been kidnapped. Something about his story troubled Costello, so he asked a police contact to run a background check. The results were shocking. George S. really was a missing person, exactly as he claimed. That revelation shattered everything Costello thought he knew about his work. These weren't mental patients receiving treatment. They were abducted civilians being subjected to horrific genetic experiments. Some were even being used as food for the extraterrestrial beings. Costello couldn't stand by and watch anymore. He joined a small resistance group of human workers who planned to fight back against their alien overseers. They even had help from some of the reptilian workers who had grown sympathetic to the human prisoners. But their rebellion was doomed from the start. The resistance had no access to weapons, while the facility's elite Delta Force security teams were heavily armed. The uprising became a massacre, with numerous human workers and sympathetic aliens losing their lives. Before fleeing the facility forever, Costello managed to steal photographs and video evidence of what he had witnessed. These became the Dulce Papers, some of the most controversial documents in UFO history. But Costello's story raises as many questions as it answers. No one has been able to verify his identity or confirm that he ever worked at any government facility. Some researchers suggest his records were expunged and he was forced to go off the grid. Others believe Thomas Costello never existed at all. The third major witness to emerge was Phil Schneider, a geologist and engineer who claimed to have worked on classified military projects for 17 years. In 1995, Schneider gave a public lecture where he revealed everything he knew about underground military bases, including Dulce. According to Schneider, there were 131 active deep underground military bases across the United States as of 1995. Each costs between $17 and $19 billion to construct and house thousands of employees, many of whom were alien beings. These bases were connected by high-speed magnetic levitation trains capable of traveling at twice the speed of sound. Schneider confirmed the existence of the Granada Treaty signed in 1954, allowing aliens to experiment on humans and cattle in exchange for advanced technology. He claimed there were 11 distinct alien races on Earth, with only 2 being benevolent toward humanity. The other 9 viewed humans as nothing more than a food source. He also spoke about the Dulce War, claiming he had been present during the conflict and had lost several fingers in the battle. Schneider warned that his revelations would likely get him killed, telling his family never to believe it if his death was ruled a suicide. 6 months later, Phil Schneider was found dead in his apartment. The official cause was listed as suicide, but investigators noted he had been found with either a catheter or piano wire wrapped around his neck, suggesting a military-style execution. Schneider's death seemed to confirm his credibility, but subsequent investigations revealed troubling inconsistencies in his story. Many of his claims, including details about his own background, turned out to be false. FBI records showed that Schneider had been treated for schizophrenia and had a history of self-mutilation when under stress. He had actually cut off his own fingers during a mental health crisis, not during any alien war. The testimonies of these 3 men formed the foundation of the Dulce Base Legend. But as compelling as their stories might seem, there are serious problems with the evidence they provided. Tectamas Castello's photographs. For example, one image, supposedly showing alien technology at the Dulce base, turned out to be identical to a scene from Arnold Schwarzenegger's film The Sixth Day. The photo had been lifted directly from the movie, calling into question the authenticity of all of Castello's evidence. The accounts of the Dulce War also vary wildly between witnesses. Castello claimed it started when he tried to organize a resistance to free human prisoners. Another alleged whistleblower, Dr. Mughal said the conflict began over weapons testing disagreements. Schneider insisted he triggered the war by shooting an alien during a geological survey. These aren't just different perspectives on the same event. They're completely contradictory stories. If 82 people really died in this underground war, where are their families? Where are the missing person reports? How could so many deaths be covered up without anyone noticing their loved ones had vanished? The logistics of maintaining such a massive conspiracy also strain credibility. Thousands of people would need to be involved in constructing and operating a 7-level underground facility. The idea that every single one of them could be kept silent for decades defies everything we know about human nature and government secrecy. Think about other classified programs that have been exposed over the years. MKUltra, the Watergate scandal, NSA surveillance programs. These secrets came out because people talked. Whistleblowers emerged. Documents were leaked. Yet somehow, this supposedly massive alien collaboration has remained hidden for over 70 years. There is also the question of why aliens would bother negotiating a treaty with the US government in the first place. If these beings are advanced enough to travel between star systems, why would they need permission from humans to conduct their research? They could simply take what they wanted without bothering with legal niceties. The supposed Granada Treaty would have no legal validity anyway, since international treaties require ratification by 2/3 of the Senate. A secret treaty that couldn't be publicly debated and voted on would be meaningless under US law. But here's where the story gets really interesting. Well, I don't believe the Dulce Base conspiracy as described by these witnesses. Something definitely strange has been happening in that area of New Mexico. In the 1960s, the US government conducted a classified Atomic Energy Commission program called Gas Buggy near Dulce. This was part of a larger operation called Project Plus, which had the absolutely mad idea of using nuclear explosives for peaceful purposes. The government claimed they wanted to access a massive underground natural gas deposit. Their solution was to detonate a nuclear bomb 4,000 feet beneath the Carson National Forest, just miles from Dulce. On December 10, 1967, they actually went through with this insane plan. Predictably, the gas that was released was so radioactive, it couldn't be used for anything. The entire area was contaminated beyond use, and the government placed a permanent ban on any excavation in the region. The official explanation for Project Gas Buggy sounds so ridiculous that many people suspect it was a cover story. Nuclear fracking to access natural gas. Really? Some researchers believe the government was actually trying to destroy something that was already underground, something they didn't want anyone else to find. And the strange occurrences around Dulce continue to this day. Residents report regular UFO sightings over their community. Cattle mutilations still happen in the area, with the same precise surgical cuts and missing organs that have baffled investigators for decades. These ongoing mysteries suggest that while the whistleblower testimonies might be fabricated, something genuinely unusual is happening near Dulce. Whether it's classified military research, natural phenomena we don't understand, or something else entirely remains an open question, the Dulce Base story taps into some of our deepest fears about government secrecy and the possibility that we're not alone in the universe. The idea that our own leaders might collaborate with hostile aliens against their own citizens is terrifying, precisely because it feels plausible given what we know about classified programs and government lies. But extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence, and despite decades of investigation, that evidence has never materialized. The photographs are fake, the witnesses are unreliable, and the logistics of such a conspiracy are virtually impossible. Yet the mystery endures. Something is happening in that remote corner of New Mexico that defies easy explanation, whether it's advanced military research, natural phenomena, or something else entirely. The Dulce area continues to generate reports that challenge our understanding of reality. The truth about Dulce Base, whatever it might be, remains buried beneath layers of disinformation, genuine mystery, and human fascination with the unknown, until someone produces incontrovertible evidence of alien-human collaboration or definitively explains the strange occurrences in the area. The legend will continue to captivate those who dare to ask what really lies beneath the New Mexico desert. One thing is certain, though. The very fact that so many people are willing to believe such an outrageous conspiracy theory says something profound about our relationship with government authority and our place in the universe. In a world where official explanations often fall short and classified programs operate in shadows, perhaps it's not surprising that people fill the gaps with theories about alien collaboration and underground horrors. The Dulce Base story serves as a mirror, reflecting our anxieties about power, secrecy, and the possibility that those in authority don't have our best interests at heart. Whether the base is real or not, the fears it represents are very real indeed. So, the next time you re-drive in through the remote deserts of New Mexico and you see something strange in the sky or notice an unusual rock formation that might conceal hidden entrances, remember the tale of Dulce Base. Remember that sometimes the most important truths aren't about what really happened, but about what people believe could happen. And perhaps, in the end, That's the most unsettling revelation of all. In a world where governments conduct secret experiments, cover up classified programs, and lie to their own citizens, who can say for certain where reality ends and conspiracy begins? The mystery of Dulce Base continues to haunt the American Southwest, a reminder that even in our modern age of information and transparency, there are still places where the boundaries between fact and fiction blur into something far more disturbing than either truth alone. But hey, if you've made it this far into this absolutely mental journey, you're clearly someone who appreciates a proper mystery. If this story has got your mind racing and you want to dive deeper into the world of unexplained phenomena and government conspiracies, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe for more content that LL keep you questioning everything you thought you knew about reality. Because trust me, the rabbit hole goes much deeper than just the Dulce Base. And we're only getting started on uncovering the truth about what's really happening in the shadows of our world. Thanks for watching. If you liked it, please like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Bye!